In today's video, I want to discuss some of the features and different elements that I think Halo needs to succeed. This is just my opinion, and honestly, just things I think Halo has been missing for way too long. The first thing that comes to my mind when I think of classic Halo is the UI. First impressions are everything, and when you load up a game, the menus are the first thing you interact with. Ever since Halo 4, the menus in Halo aren't all that memorable in any way, and all around just a terrible experience to interact with. I'll use the most recent Halo game as an example. We all know Infinite has some of the worst menus in any game. Shit, majority of the time you're sitting there for minutes just waiting for certain UI elements to load. My first impression with Infinite was waiting for the menus to load. The majority of people won't want to deal with this. I'm a Halo fan and didn't want to sit there and wait for menus to load. I can't imagine what a new player thinks when they hop on Infinite and have to deal with that. It's not a good experience. Let's take a look at a game with an incredible menu. Halo Reach. Everything just worked. You load the game or met with that iconic Halo Reach soundtrack. Easy to navigate menus, and it kept the consistency of Halo 3. This is one of the many things Halo has been struggling with since Halo 4 is consistency in almost every aspect of the game. This is one of those simple things 343 could have built on, but we know that's just not how they operate. Back to the menus, once you decide what you want to play, you'll be met with the best part of this menu, the roster. All you had to do was hover over someone's name and you could see all the relevant information. It was easy to hop right into what you wanted to do. Want to invite your friends? It's a button press away. Want to see who your friends are playing with? Just go to party details. Want to know what rank they got? It's right there. You could even see what percentage of the armor they have unlocked, as well as overall commendation progress. Let's talk about the matchmaking lobby. You might remember the simplicity of selecting a playlist, how playlists were split into categories, then in that category all you had to do was select what you wanted to play. Somehow 343 got this right in MCC with the match composer. It was simple and easy to navigate. Now go take a look at what they did with Halo Infinite. I have never seen anything like it. They outdid themselves with how cluttered that menu is. The average player probably doesn't even know there's a match composer. Every playlist has multiple game types, but you have no idea what can be played on each map. But you could see this in MCC. It's a cluttered mess. It just makes you not even want to deal with it. I hope they go back to the simple classic Halo menus. I can't show it, but there was a recent unreleased Vidoc that leaked. The Vidoc had some concept art in it that made it seem like they were going that route, with a nice roster on the side and an easy menu to navigate. How we ended up with what we have now in Infinite, I'll never understand it. This kind of goes in the category of menus. The game needs a real career page. When you get on Halo Infinite, you can't check any kind of stats in-game. If you want to see your stats, you either need to go to Waypoint. If you haven't been on Waypoint in a long time, you might not know this, but the site barely functions. Same issue as Infinite's UI, nothing loads. We have another option to check our stats, that's Halo Tracker. This site is the better option of the two, but it's still not ideal to have your players go to other sites to view stats, instead of just having them in your game to begin with. One of the few things MCC did right was the in-depth stats where you could view just about anything. If we go take a look at Infinite's career pages, with all things Infinite, it's bare bones. You can't even see how many wins you have. The only thing you can see is the amount of customs and matchmaking games you have and what difficulty you beat the game on. You can also see your progression rank and your skill rank. At some point, they also removed the ability to see player skill ranks when you check other players' stats. The new Halo needs this. Everyone enjoys seeing their stats. Watching them improve is part of the experience. Make it easily accessible, just like Halo 3. Everything needs to be a simple button press away. In Halo 3, I could check every single player's career page in the lobby before the game even started. You could even go through people's file shares all before you got into the match. This could have just been a me thing, but that was part of the experience of Halo 3 that was so enjoyable. Being able to see the different combinations of win-loss records that players went for and the random things people put in their file share, it was just an experience in a game that has never been recreated. Speaking of lobbies, this one is talked about a lot. We need pre-game and post-game lobbies. I get 343's logic and the idea behind getting players in the matches as fast as possible, but removing these lobbies has made Halo feel lonely. Thinking back to the good old days of Halo, striking up a random conversation or just trash-talking the other team was fun. In those pre-game lobbies of Halo is where I met some lifelong friends, and I'm sure that's the same for many of you watching this video. Halo lost its social aspect in Halo 5. I don't think this was just for quick matches and has more to do with they just didn't want people getting their feelings hurt. It's okay to get trash-talked to, it's not that big of a deal. It's not all about not being able to talk to people. We lost the function to veto or vote for the maps and game types we want to play. 343's argument for taking those features away is so players won't play the same maps all the time. Why would you take the choice away from players who don't want to play some of the dogshit maps you have created? This argument never made much sense to me. Don't you want your players to play the fun stuff, the things they actually want to play? And if I'm not mistaken, wouldn't this keep your player retention high if you let people play the things they want to actually play? Not to mention, when they took this option away, I find myself playing the same map multiple times in a row anyway. This is adding to me not wanting to play the new Halo games. Just let me decide what I want to play. And for the last thing, for post-game lobbies, allow players to party up. It's a simple feature, and I'm sure the community would give you praise for adding this feature back into Halo. So in short, Add pre and post game lobbies, allow players to choose whether they want to play, and let me decide if I want to get trash talk. That's why the mute button exists. If someone gets their feelings hurt, they could always mute. It's not that hard. Player choice is a good thing. Every developer knows this. Moving on to one of the most important things to me in any game is ranked. If you've been watching the channel, you might know I've been wanting 1 through 50 back. If I had it my way, this would be Halo's ranking system from this point forward. I just can't stand this tier and division system that every game uses. It's been so overused, it's not fun whatsoever. But I know 1 through 50 isn't the system we're going to get, so let's just assume we'll see the same thing we have been seeing since Halo 5. The simplest thing I want to see added is champion ranks. Why isn't this already an infinite? You can only get up to an Onyx and infinitely rank up that number. Another thing I'd like to see is an in-game leaderboard. Every game has an in-game leaderboard. Why doesn't Halo? If we're going to stick to this seasonal ranking system, we need a way to view past seasons other than going to a third-party website. Way back in 2010, Halo Reach had the ability to see past seasons, and somehow nobody at 343 thought this would be a good idea to add into the game. I feel as though it's the simple things that 343 overlooks that are starting to add up and hurt the game in the long run. There isn't much else to say for this part, just make a good system and the players will play, and if 343 feels like overachieving, they should try to do what other games do, like adding rewards every season in the form of weapon skins and charms for the rank you manage to make it to that season, and they can't get lazy and give up on the rewards like they did in Halo Infinite. I've said this in our other videos, but community features are a must. Theater is a major part of Halo. It aids in creating montages, skit videos, and any form of content you want. The sad thing, theater hasn't worked properly for nearly 10 years. Misaligned reticles, stuttery gameplay, the list goes on. I remember a time when Halo montages were getting hundreds of thousands of views. Shit, even Campy has a Halo 3 montage with over 1 million views. I don't think the montage scene would have died out if theater actually worked properly. The content people used to make is essentially free advertising for Halo. I rarely get recommended anything Halo related on YouTube that I would want to watch. It's news videos and lore. Bring back the good stuff, like machinimas and montages. I'm going to speak for most of the creators and say that it's just not worth the hassle. Here's some more issues with theater. Most of the time when you save a film and want to come back to it later, you won't be able to view the film and the file will be corrupted. If it's possible, they need to make it where films can be permanently saved and have file shares front and center like Halo 3. I know a lot of you watching know some of those iconic Halo 3 screenshots. I want to see file shares return to what they used to be, so we can see all the cool content that people make. Halo's been lacking in this aspect for a long time. It's time to take Halo back to the simple things that made it so great to begin with. Some of the other things I want to mention is the things we all know it needs. Obviously, it needs co-op campaign at launch, custom game browser, and a firefight style mode. We know it needs all of this. All these things need to be at launch, not months later. The new Halo needs to ship complete, and if it does and they nail every aspect from the big to the small features, I believe Halo can make it back to the top where it belongs. There's no other game like Halo, and it deserves to succeed, not be the laughingstock of the gaming community. This video is my opinion on some of the things I believe Halo needs to get right. I didn't cover the big topics and features because that is a given. I wanted to make this video for the people that remember these small things and details that Halo had, and some of the things I talked about are the small details that I cared about and still care about to this day, and hopefully I'll see it back in Halo one day. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. My question to all of you, what would you like to see added or returned to Halo? Be sure to let us know in the comments. See you in the next one.